the truth about 99% of what's on social media is it is substanceless. And it is the addiction to something that has no meaning that is dangerous.
For most people who are not as disciplined as you are, the world is encroaching on our time in more and more intense and demanding ways, especially through social media. How do you manage social media?
Well, I mean, I only do Twitter. I don't really do anything else. And I do it relatively sparingly. I probably tweet once or twice a week. And I only follow maybe 30 people on Twitter. I'm constantly trying to follow fewer, not more. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. Although I follow, I think, 5 people on Instagram, mostly runners. That's pretty much it. Is there other social media? I don't do Snapchat. I'm probably 40 years outside of the demo.
You don't do Instagram, except following some
people.
runners?
I don't really take photos, so it seems pointless for me to do Instagram. I don't really understand Facebook. Never really understood it. And Twitter, I think, is useless, but enjoyable. I don't think anyone has ever... I always find the notion that somehow the Russians insidiously influenced our electoral process through their sly use of Twitter to be so preposterous. It's like, really, Twitter? Who first of all, no one reads their Twitter. How can they? Most people I know, the only person who reads their Twitter is me. Why? Because I follow 30 people on Twitter. No one follows 30 people on Twitter. Everyone else is following 10,000. If you follow 10,000 people on Twitter, you effectively follow no one on Twitter, right? So the Russians supposedly sending out like tweets. Who read them? I mean, it's just the whole thing is preposterous. Twitter is a complete and utter waste of time, but nonetheless, it can be quite enjoyable.
So you think that the Russians more easily influence people through Facebook?
I think they more easily influence people through Fox News, but
well, the Fox News didn't need any help from the Russians.
But no, I don't deny that they influence the election in subtle ways. I don't think Twitter is one of them. If someone wanted to influence an election in America, why wouldn't they just hack into a ballot box and change the result? It's actually not that hard to do.
It's definitely harder. Harder than buying ads on Facebook.
Yeah, I remain incredibly skeptical that buying ads on Facebook is terribly meaningful unless you're selling, party favors, which they were not doing. It's one thing to sell someone a product that they're looking for. It is quite another to change their minds about something. The principal effect of that kind of ideological advertising is merely to reinforce people's pre-existing ideas. So did Russian interference in social media convince people who were already pro-Trump to be more pro-Trump? Sure. But is that an accomplishment of any great consequence? No, it's just...
I think it's a question of whether did they convince them to be more pro-Trump to the point of showing up and voting. Did they convince them to do something that involved an action rather than simply strengthening an opinion?
I sincerely doubt. I don't think that Twitter and Facebook ads can get people to vote. I think you vote when you it's a habit in your life, something that you have. I think there's all kinds of much more profound reasons why people vote. One of the things that has always amazed me about people's approach to social media is that they confer on social media magic properties of persuasion that no one has ever conferred on any other form of, they speak about it like the way people in the Middle Ages spoke about various, spiritual relics. If you touch the Virgin Mary, you will be healed. It's that level of, this is crazy. If you read the Twitter, your mind will be forever altered, right? It's the same, said in the same tones. It's just the whole thing's nonsense.